Artifacts uncovered at Pella are ample proof of a rich Macedonian culture.
Excavations by our colleagues in Greece have brought to light sufficient examples of an exquisite taste in art that suggests that these Macedonians were not a race of barbarians as Demosthenes and other Greeks had charged.
Eugene Borza believes historians of Alexander and his world conquest have obscured the culture of the Macedonians. For Borza, the truly heroic figure of Macedonian history, by far a better example of its greatness, was the father of Alexander, Philip II.
Undoubtedly, Alexander was young and impetuous and brilliant, and perhaps, along with Napoleon, the greatest military genius of all times. But he was not a thinker and a planner as Philip was. Philip had enormous diplomatic as well as military skills and was a leader of men in a way that perhaps Alexander was not.
The most significant Macedonian artifacts yet found are in the village of Vergina, some 30 miles north of Mount Olympus in northern Greece. Archaeologists now believe this to be the ancient city of Aegae. Here in 1977, a team led by acclaimed Greek archaeologist Manolis Andronikos found a tomb apparently undisturbed since the 4th century BC. It was the first intact Macedonian burial ever found. Archaeologist Stella Druho, now director of the Vergina site, assisted Andronikos during his momentous excavation.
Στο σημείο να ανοίξουμε τον τάφο ήταν για μας και σαν αρχαιολόγοι και σαν...
We got to the point of opening the tomb. It was an impressive experience for us as archaeologists and as human beings. We had to be calm and accept what we found. When we entered the tomb, we stopped thinking as scientists, but felt as humans the deep connection between ancient times and our own.
Που μπαίνει σε έναν χώρο από τα παλιά χρόνια, συνδέει το χρόνο, τον παλιό χρόνο με τον νέο.
As Manolis Andronikos and his team scrambled through a hole made above the marble doors, they saw a room brimming with treasure. A gilded quiver leaned up against the marble doors. Behind it lay 74 arrowheads and decomposed wooden shafts. Exquisitely made bronze and silver vessels. Swords and armor trimmed in gold. A crested helmet of the style worn in Philip and Alexander's military campaigns. And scattered bits of gold, leather and ivory that after 5 years of painstaking reconstruction would prove to be a beautiful ceremonial shield. But the best was yet to come. Against one wall was a solid gold casket bearing the emblem of the Macedonian royal house, a sunburst. Inside were the bones of royalty. Nearby, an exquisite gold foiled wreath, the heaviest ever discovered. Some of its 313 golden oak leaves showed signs of scorching. Perhaps it was a crown for the monarch during his cremation. Though the identity of the buried king is unknown, the treasure found in the tomb is unmistakable proof that the Macedonians were not a barbaric tribe whose only accomplishment was making war.
Whether done by indigenous Macedonian craftsmen or by Greeks and others working in Macedonia or imported from elsewhere, there's nothing else quite like it anywhere in the ancient world.
Archaeologists are finding increasing evidence that the Macedonians had a far more sophisticated culture than previously thought. But they are also exposing a civilization beset by tragedy. But Alexander would take his father's place as the immortalized conqueror of the world. Alexander would never return to his native Macedonia. Having completed his conquest, he died in Babylon at the age of 32. His mysterious death came after a long bout of alcoholic revelry. Some have suggested he was poisoned. In the meantime, his campaign had exhausted the resources of his people. Macedonia would fall prey to waves of political corruption and intrigue. Its golden age was over. Ironically, Alexander, regarded by many Greeks as barbaric, would be the means by which Greek culture would spread throughout the world. He would establish cities bearing his name, many to become centers of learning where Greek civilization would be kept alive, overshadowing the culture of Macedonia.